Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful session on mental health. So today we have Manisha Sharma. So Manisha is a psychologist, and she's a wonderful woman. But she would be telling us more in coming interview. So yeah, thank you, Manisha, for joining in. It's my pleasure to have you.
It is my pleasure indeed, Laksha, to join you with these sessions. You're doing an incredible job,
Thank you very much.
and I would really like to see more of the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, thank you for a
Thank you.
warm welcome.
Yeah. So the first question, if you can, give a brief about yourself and what you do.
Sure. So I am a psychologist. I work freelance, so I'm not associated with any hospitals or clinics.
Okay.
I do my own thing, and I've been trained. So I hold a master's degree in clinical psychology,
Okay.
and then I went on to train in hypnosis, NLP, CBT, and I incorporate these modalities with my clients, and we work together to help resolve issues, whether they're emotional, whether it's something to do with anxiety, or just in general. Some people even come for making career choices. So yeah, of course, I've also hold it's still in the waiting. So I've recently also done career counseling certification from UCL Extension.
Okay.
So that's an add-on. So yeah, I've also in the past worked as a school counselor, so where that is where I got this interest in the career counseling bit also, because that's pretty crucial. And since I do have a corporate background, because before becoming a psychologist, I was working in the corporates. Uh, a, a personal situation. I lost a friend, a very dear friend, to mental health issues, and that's what was a catalyst for me to, make a 360-degree change in my career and take up this field and work very passionately. So therefore, I limit my number of sessions per day so that I can give devoted time, and I don't rush through my processes and stuff. So that's my style of working.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. So yeah, for coming to today's topic, it's gonna be what a kind of thinking traps. As we already spoke, so it's gonna be the topic is gonna be that for today. So first question before that is what is mental health according to you?
Okay. So mental health, I feel like it's pretty much neglected in the world today, because um, it's more like something which is hidden, so
Okay,
it doesn't show, but it actually affects every part of your life,
yeah,
right? So it is as crucial as the physical health, or in certain situations it's rather the influencer of your physical health, because most of your physical illnesses are manifestation of your emotional state that you are in for a very long time. So mental health is a necessity, I would say. If you ask me what it is, according to me, it is a necessity. We need to look after it, and we need to work towards having a better mental health, when we are able to not just do well professionally, but or career wise, but also be able to have healthy relationships, think about situations, do well in general, be kind, empathize. All those things, I would say, come fall under the category of being mentally healthy.
okay. Okay, so yeah, as today's topic, like what are thinking trap? Like what is thinking trap as per psychology? Like as from the mental health experts and the psychologists, what is thinking trap?
Okay, so thinking trap, or you could also call it, unhelpful thinking styles, bias thinking. We largely put them into 12 categories, and they are mostly interlinked.
Sorry to cut you. Is also overthinking also the same in the same category?
Overthinking is not necessarily a thinking like a thinking distortion, so to
Okay.
say, but it's a part. I mean, when once I explain the 12 categories, you know that how we go about this.
Sure,
Overthinking
sure.
is when we are like giving too much attention to a certain thought. So
Okay.
one sort of a thought draws in different other thoughts which are interrelated,
Yeah.
and then we continue to dwell on those thoughts only. That's what we call overthinking. Now when we say thinking traps, is basically it's a larger section wherein a type of thinking. So overthinking is when we are either doing a lot of these negative thinking.
Okay.
Okay. But when we're saying that when we're talking about thinking traps, they basically are styles of thinking which could be which could make you dysfunctional, which could impact your way of behavior, your your interactions in relationships, and your quality of life in general.
Okay.
So, like I said, we largely put it in 12 categories. So, would you like me to explain all 12 of them? You'd have that
You,
much
you
time?
you can you can explain the important, like you think which are important. You can just
Yeah,
go
so
ahead
let me
explaining
just
them.
first give you the what they are, and if you need any details, then I could give you that. So first is the all or nothing sort of a thinking. So we also call it black and white thinking. So
Okay.
we say either we have it all or we do not do anything about it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is for extremes. A person is either saying, either I'm going to be successful or I'll not do it at all, something like that, as simple
Okay.
as that.
Okay.
So so this also would be that they also categorize situations like that. Either it's all good or it's all bad. So they're not able to see the difference. So there are no gray areas, there are no colors in between. So it's just black and white. That's why we also call it black and white thinking. And then the next one is catastrophizing. So catastrophizing basically means that we're always thinking about the worst case scenarios. Okay, so somebody is late, and the person would say they might have met with an accident. Somebody would have caught them, or something bad, like terrible, would have happened.
Yeah.
So that's like a simple example of how we catastrophize. We always go to the extreme. So it's like, okay, maybe your boss has given you a call and the thought comes to you, maybe they're just going to fire me. So that's extreme thinking, right? Like extremely worst case scenario possible that we're thinking about. Then we say overgeneralizing. Okay, and what that means is that we are seeing everything based on one single event. Okay, so we're saying it's a pattern. We're using statements like when people usually say मेरे साथ तो हमेशा ऐसा ही होता है,
Okay.
you know so I'm always a failure. Okay, or every time I'm in a relationship, the other person cheats me. So it's generalizing. Maybe yes, you were in relationships, the people cheated you, or the relationships didn't went well, but there could be some other reasons for that, right?
Yeah.
We need to
Yeah.
explore those reasons and not say this is what is always going to happen to me all the time, right? So that's overgeneralization. Then comes mental filtering. Now again, mental filtering is that we're filtering out all the good part. Okay, we're filtering it out and we're just focusing on what is the negative part here.
Okay.
Okay, so let's say when we're saying ki, somebody says you're a failure, but you did extremely well, in your dance competition. So maybe you failed a competitive exam, but you were an extremely good dancer, and the person would say, oh, that doesn't count, but I failed in the exam,
Yeah.
so I am a failure. So that's like mentally filtering out all the good. Okay, and again, similar to that is disqualifying the positives. So what would that mean is that when we're saying that, the good parts do not at all count. Okay, so we're saying ki okay ye acha nahi, but then it's actually not good. It's like when people are going, they saying acha, this is also nice, that's also nice, but it's not really good because something that I focused on is bad. So we're all the time disqualifying positives in a situation. And then, we would also say that low frustration tolerance. Okay, that I cannot tolerate a certain situation.
Okay.
This doesn't work for me. All those are, I can't stand something. So it's that bad that I cannot tolerate it. It's because my tolerance level is very low.
Okay.
Okay. And another one is minimalization. Okay. So what do we mean by that is that, we are discounting the importance of something.
Okay.
All right. And what does that mean? So when I'm saying that, again, this is also, related in terms to mental filtration.
Mhm.
We're saying that something good doesn't count that well. It is always, so okay, even if I've succeeded, it's not much. I can still do much better than this. So I'm not celebrating, I'm not happy about it. I'm just saying this is too little for me to be happy,
Yeah.
right? That's motivation. Then a very important one is emotional reasoning. Okay.
Okay.
And this is based on our feelings. So what we say is that when I'm saying that I feel a certain way, so because I'm feeling this, it is true. Okay, a certain conclusion is true. Let me give an example of that. When I'm saying that, I'm feeling restless. Okay, very simple. This is a household thing. A lot of women or sometimes men also. Let's not again generalize. So people who are with high with intuition at times, but sometimes it's not really their intuition. But they say, "Oh, I'm feeling restless. Something bad has to happen."
Yeah.
Okay, so it's has to happen. It becomes like that. So when we're doing that, it has to happen. So the reason, because I'm feeling certain way, or let's say when I'm saying I feel like a loser. Okay, therefore I must be a loser.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so this is how people do emotional reasoning. And then another trap, and this is a very common trap, somewhere, build up on the way we are conditioned at times. People who do a lot of shoulding. I should have, I must have, or you must do this, and so the demands part.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're using a lot of shoulds and musts, and you ought to do it and stuff, so what happens is that puts you into a place wherein you are not able to be free of guilt. Okay, so the moment something goes wrong, you get into, I should have known better.
Okay.
I beat myself up for it. Okay, so that puts you into a trap of guilt that way. Then comes the labeling part, wherein I am not, so this is again related to other styles of thinking, wherein I'm saying that, because I'm feeling like this, therefore I am like this. So I say, okay, so I'm feeling like a loser, so I must be a loser. Therefore, the conclusion is I am a
No
loser.
loser.
Okay, so that's labeling. So I label myself, and then I go ahead in life with that particular label. So that again impacts different areas of life, and of course, our confidence level. And then personalization. Okay. Now, personalization could be both ways. Again, it could go to either ends of the extreme. Either you're taking too much of it or too little.
Okay.
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 So, so something goes wrong. Suppose, let's say, Lakshit is the, you're the eldest son in the family, and you have a younger brother who's looking up to you, and he does something wrong, and you take the ownership of it, and you say, oh, because I'm the elder brother, I should have taught him better, so it's my fault. So that's
Oh,
personalization.
okay.
Okay. And
Okay.
a lot of people do that, parents do that for children, and um, you know a lot of people do not acknowledge this fact, but this happens a lot with children as well. So whatever is, if a parent has done something wrong, children would internalize, maybe I am the reason my father is behaving badly, or maybe I am the reason my mother has to suffer, let's say in an abusive relationship. Okay, so mother is in the relationship, she's not working out, and the child personalizes it and says that I am the one who's responsible for
Okay.
this. So that's how it is. So these are largely the four traps, and like I said, that they are pretty much interlinked. One affects the other. Like if even if I'm using one of them, I will be using some other part of it as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, true. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for briefing it out in a very beautiful manner. So what is what, as you already explained, what is thinking trap? So now, what are the solutions for thinking in a better way and removing these thinking traps?
Okay, so basically, there could be different ways. Now, let's say one thing that we can do is, have an internal dialogue.
Okay.
Okay, we could say, we could question these negative thoughts. Okay, so we use when we're doing the CBT therapy, we usually tell people to question these thoughts. Okay,
Okay.
find something that okay, we are not completely negating it, so let's say how we are evaluating it, and we're evaluating how much we're feeling it, how it is impacting, and we're also seeing what it is leading us to. So then we develop something called a counter questioning sort of a way. Okay, so when we are saying that, okay, what is the proof of this particular negative statement to be true? What is the proof that I'm a loser? Have I not actually achieved anything? So then I list that down. So this, we usually do it in a therapeutic way because people don't pick it up, automatically. But if we are able to develop this skill, internally, and we are able to have this internal dialogue wherein we are questioning these negative thoughts, it becomes far easier and quicker for us. Then another way of doing it is like, to put it out simply, is that we start to journal. Okay,
Okay.
so we record our thoughts and we say, okay, how am I thinking, and then we see the pattern, and then we work towards breaking that pattern.
Okay.
Okay, and now I'll share a very basic example. So we have this very funny example that's been given to us over the ages, which says glass is half full, half empty, right? So we've only largely been taught about the half full and half empty part of the glass. Now, I would like to say the third part of it. Okay,
Okay.
we got to be focusing on that we do have the water in the glass, so we need to be
True.
thankful for the water.
That, yeah.
So it's so basically what I mean is that we need to have an attitude of gratitude.
Okay.
So the more we are having that, we'll be seeing what is there instead of what is not there,
Okay.
right? So like, for example, when I'm saying I let's say about labeling or mental filtration, where we say, oh, that doesn't count. Why it doesn't count? It is a part of success, right? So the more we're able to say that, okay, maybe I'm not good enough in academics, but I'm good in art. So there's something that is good, and this is something that I can use and I can incorporate, right? So that's how we can shift our thinking styles. We can change our thinking styles, we can shift our thinking from negative towards what's there instead of what's not there, right?
Okay. Okay, and then just one more query. You were saying about some glass. I just want to know, like, if you can, elaborate what's the. I don't know if I remember that, but I have heard about the half glass, full glass, which we're speaking about. When you
Mm-hmm.
said we have to be grateful for the water, so what's that thing? Just if you can elaborate it a bit.
Okay, so basically, when we were kids, we were always, told that, there are two ways of thinking. So if we shown a half glass of water, okay, so okay, let me show you this image here. This might help. Can you see this?
Yeah,
Okay, so let's say we have this half glass of water in front of us. So a pessimist, they say, usually says, "Oh, the glass is half empty." An optimist says, "Oh, the glass is half full."
cool.
I'm saying a person with gratitude would first and foremost say, "Thank God there is water in the glass."
Yeah,
Whatever the level of water is, but thank God there is water in the
yeah,
glass, right? So we may not always be optimistic about situation. Let's say, there are crises, people, let's take the COVID situation right now. People are having issues in their business, in their jobs. Some people are losing their jobs. There definitely are crises, we cannot deny that,
yeah,
right? We cannot deny the half empty part, right? But we can always thank for whatever we have, right? We can always thank God that, okay, this is what I do have, even if this is not there, that is not there, but this is what I have, and I'm grateful for having what I have. So that definitely helps you counter the negative thinking styles a lot.
yeah,
This is something that we also tell people, that people who have a lot of negative, if we observe negative thinking styles, we always tell them, one is the regular journaling of your thoughts and your emotions, so that we track it for your moods and your thought processes, but also to have a separate diary for paying gratitude. And nowadays we are all tech savvy, and we can all have a gratitude app on our phone, and we can just download and every day make some entries wherein we are thanking God for some, or the universe, whatever you believe. I'm not saying that we necessarily need to be a believer to be able to be grateful, but just
yeah,
whatever. So if you think the universe is providing it for you, if you think your parents are providing it for you, or whoever you think, whatever is good, so we're thankful for having what we have. That definitely does help to overcome the crisis situations, or even the most negative, uh, you know recover from the most negative places.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, what would be your last message, to anybody who wants to, keep themselves healthy mentally, want their mental health to be wonderful. What would be your advices to them, and a message from your side?
Okay, so basically, I would say that mental health is definitely important. It is going to affect every area in your life.
Yeah,
How you're going to be in your career, how you're going to be in your relationships, how you're going to be with your own self.
yeah,
Most importantly, your relationship with yourself is a lot determined by your mental health.
yeah,
Thinking traps is just one of the things that can just hamper that relationship with yourself. So whenever you feel that you have any issues related to mental health, seek out help. Okay, have a even before you think you need, should or shouldn't I go to a professional, have a healthy circle of people who you feel confident with, who you can share your emotions with. So have a healthy social circle. Use ways of expression like art or writing, or if you are a musician, make music, of course. And make sure that you are having a good vent out if you ever overloaded. And then whenever you feel that no, things aren't really helping you, you're not able to find any motivation, and you do need some external help,
Yeah.
do reach out to professionals. Okay, you don't necessarily always need to go to a psychiatrist,
Okay.
unless there is a disorder condition. If you feel that you're feeling emotionally overwhelmed, you're unable to manage your emotions, or if there are situations like you're not able to manage healthy relationships, or you're having confidence issues, they're all impacting your mental health. So reach out to a counseling psychologist. They'll be able to counsel you through the process, help you, have a safe space of expression, without any judgment. So because we're basically trained, and we do understand not to judge people, right? So you would not have any judgments. Do reach out to professionals if you need help, if you're having memory issues, if you're having trouble sleeping, if you are having any sort of anxiety related issues, right? So I'll brief a little bit. So I'll take a very simple example here, because it's important. So if you're, like, suppose going for a meeting, okay, and you're having those you're having something in your stomach which is like troublesome for you, you're having IBS or any issues, because every time you go for some important meetings or anything, you need to do something about that anxiety. It is not a general bowl related problem, it is related to mental health. So reach out. These kind of things can, if we are ignoring them at large, of course they're going to affect, first and foremost, affect your performance in the meeting. And then obviously, later on in life, obviously, they are going to affect your wellness overall.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for making this session wonderful, giving a lot of things to think about and speak about. Thank you very much. It was my pleasure to have you, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure from my end as well. Thank you so much, Lakshit, for reaching out.